Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. My name's Marissa, and today I am going to be talking about my top 10 most disappointing books. So this list was a little hard for me to come up with. There was one that I could really think of off the top of my head. The rest of them, it took me a little bit, but once I thought about it, I got it. So the very first one is, of course, Lovely War by Julie Berry. This book was so hyped on BookTube. So hyped everywhere. And everybody's like, oh, it's like the best book ever. And then I read it and I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, I was disappointed by that one. If you guys don't know, this book is basically a romance novel. It is told from the point of view of the gods, and they are narrating these two different love stories set in the time of World War I and World War II. I thought the premise was interesting, but I thought it was going to be a lot more fun than it was. So the next most disappointing book was Escaping from Houdini by Kari Maniscalco. Of course, this is the third book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, and this one was set on a boat. I know I've said this in a wrap-up somewhere, but it was very much like unwarranted. You know, it was almost like a cheating story, and I did not like it. I was ticked off for most of the book, and bored for a lot of it too. It was just very repetitive and just not necessary at all to put the characters through that. So yeah, that's why I was disappointed in that book. But the rest of the books in the series are great, so definitely don't let that stop you from reading the rest of them. So the next book is Wilder Girls by Rory. Of course, this is a Lord of the Flies retelling. These girls are at this school on an island when all of a sudden this like weird disease comes through and starts giving the girls these very strange mutations, like people growing extra limbs and growing gross things out of their body, and nobody knows what's going on. I was very disappointed in this book because by the end of it, I still had no idea what the hell was going on. They never wrapped up the story, they never gave any kind of conclusion, so it was just like, what the hell was the point in that? So, yeah. So then the next one was Three Dark Crowns by Kendare Blake. This one, again, has been really, really hyped on BookTube. I know a lot of people love this, but I was bored. I was just very bored throughout the whole thing. I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. I couldn't relate to any of the characters. You know, most of the characters are bad. Like, they're not even morally gray, they're just bad. I just didn't get it. So yeah, I definitely will not be continuing on with the series. I know other people love it, but it was just not for me, for sure. So the next one is actually more like the next couple. And these are the Harry Potter A Journey Through books. These came out in 2019, and it was, oh look, more books in the Harry Potter series. Wrong. These are like educational books. I definitely did not think they were going to be that. Didn't really relate to the magical universe except for kind of a teeny tiny bit, maybe. But yeah, I thought they were kind of worthless. I bought the first two before I realized what they were. I read those and then canceled my pre-order for the second two because it was like, no, we're touting these books as Harry Potter universe when really they're very loosely tied back to the movie and the books. I mean, give me a freaking break. It's just another way for J.K. Rowling to make some money, I guess. So yeah, definitely a huge disappointment in those. And I think the video where I did a review on those is like my most watched video on YouTube. So, you know, you definitely know I was disappointed. The next one is, of course, An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. And this one is about this girl who does paintings for the Fae, and one day she paints something in this fairy who, you know, she paints something in his eyes, and he can't have that because it makes him look weak, so he steals her back to his home. And I was just bored, honestly. I didn't think the story was fully formed. I didn't think that it was fleshed out enough. It was very insta-lovey. I just didn't understand what the point of the story was. So yeah, I was severely disappointed in that. And then the next one is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Brigid Kemmerer. And this one, again, I know people on BookTube absolutely love this. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I just did not care for it. And especially between the first and the second book, it was like there were so many discrepancies between them that like it didn't even make sense, that I just didn't enjoy it. I listened to the audiobooks for this and I was bored. I was really bored. So yeah. The next one, of course, is one that I just read recently, and that was Fatal Throne by various authors. And that one, if you watched my July wrap-up, I did not enjoy that one because I just don't think it added anything to the series. It is about Henry VIII's 6 wives, and there's like 50 pages devoted to each wife. I'm sorry, but there are so many historical fiction books out there, so many written about his wives, and each one of them have thousands upon thousands of books to themselves. And then there's some where there's the whole story, but they get more than 50 pages. And I just didn't think that this was a deep enough dive to give anybody who's new to learning about the 6 wives any good information. And I don't think that people who've already read other historical fiction books are going to get anything new out of this book. So therefore, it was disappointing, and I don't even know why they wrote it, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, that's my rant, and I'm sticking to it, damn it. So the next one is The Girl the Sea Gave Back by Adrienne Young, and this was kind of a follow-up to The Sky in the Deep, only it wasn't, and it didn't really make any sense. It was like 50 years or something after the first one took place. The second one, this one just didn't make any sense. It didn't wrap up anything. They didn't go anywhere. Nothing got solved. It was, I literally don't even know why it was written. So basically this is following up, of course, the Sky in the Deep, and it is about like this town of Vikings, and you know, they're fighting for their home, and there's this girl who was dead and who was sent out to sea. Well, she ended up in the hands of the enemy tribe, because that's where she got sent. So she's lived her whole life like that, and now the family and the people that she called home, she's kind of reunited with, but she's changed quite a bit. So yeah, I didn't really care for it. I didn't think it made sense. And then the last and final one, and one that I was very passionate about hating, that was The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman. This one was a prequel to Practical Magic. Now, Practical Magic is, of course, a movie and a book. Now, I had seen the movie years and years ago, and it's kind of like one of those cult classic favorite movies. I really enjoyed the movie. The book, not so freaking much, especially the prequel, because between the prequel and the regular book, there are huge discrepancies. They're written by the same damn author. How did you take something that you wrote in Practical Magic and change it in the Rules of Magic, and then like expect people not to notice? Like, just straight up, you know, completely different. So yeah, definitely go watch my rant review on that, because I think I called it Practically Magicless, because honestly, there's not much magic in either one of these two books. Now, I guess this could kind of be based on Wicked magic, which is more, you know, a spiritual practice, and not actually, you know, like Harry Potter point and zap magic. So I guess I can kind of understand it from that point of view, but we didn't even really see much of the spiritual in it either. It was more about a story of the family who supposedly has witchcraft than anything else. So yeah. So anyway, that concludes my list of my top 10 most disappointing books, and I may do another one of these at some point if I get 10 more disappointing books. So anyway, down in the comments, please let me know what were your most disappointing books. Did you agree, disagree with any of them on my list? How did you feel watching me rip these books apart? Because you know I do. So anyway, that's all I have for you, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching my video. I upload every Wednesday and Saturday, and I would really love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe my videos. Have a great day.